Hey there, it's Marlene Hilema from ImageMaven.com, and in this video I'm going to be talking about flash, specifically the Godox V860 version 2, and I'm going to be using it with my Lumix G9. Let's go! If this is your first time here, well, thanks for checking me out. I teach photography, photo editing, a little bit of lighting, and I'm a huge fan of Lumix cameras. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, let's get right to this. So, flash, I never use flash. You guys know that. I'm a fair weather shooter. But guess what? In this video, I'm going to use flash outside and use it as fill flash with high-speed sync. So this is something totally new for me. I wanted to raise the bar of my skateboarding photos, so you tell me if you think it's worth it. Let's have a look at some images. Some key features of this flash. It swivels side to side. It of course tilts like all flashes do. And it has a wide angle screen on the front for shooting with wide angle lenses. It has a bounce card for shooting elevated with bounce. So it has all the usual stuff that flashes these days have. So just so you know. It's a big flash. And another cool thing about it, it has a built-in rechargeable battery. Say goodbye to batteries. This thing is sweet. I actually haven't even had to recharge it yet, and I've probably taken 1,000 pictures, and I'm not joking there. Did a lot of testing with this flash. That's probably, to me, the biggest selling point of this flash is this rechargeable battery. Sweet. No more double A's for me. Now you can use this flash right on the camera, and most of the photos that I ended up using for this, the flash was right on the camera. You can also put the flash on a stand and use this trigger, which goes on your hot shoe on your camera, and use that to trigger the flash. All right, let's set this up. One of the first things you're going to do is go into the flash menu on the back of your camera, and flash mode, turn it on. And you synchronize it with first or second curtain sync. And for most people who shoot action shots, they use second curtain sync. You can adjust your flash exposure internally, or you can do it on the flash in this case. And I'm just going to leave all those at the defaults. And there we go, ready to shoot. One thing you're going to notice right away is that when you put your flash on the camera, it won't let you go past the sync speed, which in this case is 1/250th of a second. So it won't let me go to a faster shutter speed than that, unless of course you set it up for high speed sync. All right, let's look at the flash itself and set it up. This is your mode button right here, and when you push it, you cycle through the various modes. So this is TTL, through the lens metering. This is manual, so you set everything up manually, and you can control the power of the manual by using the dial. So there's quarter power, 1/8, 1/16, 1/64, and it goes down to 1/128th power. When you're starting out, just leave it on 1:1 and go from there. The other mode is multi-flash, so that's basically you shoot it like a stroboscope. So you have one photo with many flashes. And I just left mine on TTL to start with. To turn on the high-speed sync, you go to the sync button, which is this one right here, and you push it, and you can see that the symbol for high-speed sync shows up as well. When the high-speed sync is on, you can increase your shutter speed to faster than the default, so faster than 1/250th of a second, which is what the default is for the Lumix G9. So our default, 1/250th of a second, and with high speed sync, you can go up as high as you want. Keeping in mind that the flash duration will be shorter if you're at super high speeds. So I used a starting point of 1/1000th of a second. So just to reiterate, you can start with the mode being TTL, make sure you set high speed sync, and here's the sync button, if you want to do a shutter speed faster than 1/250th of a second. One of the things you can do in TTL mode is choose the flash exposure compensation. So what that means is if your subject is too bright or too dark, you can adjust the flash output. Click the button and just roll the dial. It's very easy to adjust it. And this is still using TTL, so you're in automatic flash, but you're adjusting compensation here, as opposed to in the camera. And you can adjust the zoom, so you could match the zoom of the flash with your lens. So you just push this zoom button and you can change this manually, or you could let it be automatic if you want it to zoom when you zoom your lens. In order for the trigger to talk to the flash, it needs to be in slave mode, and to do that you press this button and you cycle through until it says slave, and that shows you your channel, your group, and that it's in slave mode. If it's not in slave mode, the trigger will not talk to the flash. Alright, let's set up the trigger now. So pop it into the hot shoe. Look at these switches. So you want to turn it on. And if you're using high speed sync, you want to make sure that's on as well. So there's the manual switch here for high speed sync. Let's have a look at the trigger here. You notice that you have letters A to E, and those have to do with groups. So if you're using multiple flash units, you can set them up with different groups. When you're starting out, don't worry about the groups. If you just have one flash and one trigger, you can leave it on any of these groups, but I chose to leave it on A, and I make sure that my external flash is also on group A. Otherwise, they won't talk to each other. Another thing you have to look at is the channel. And the channel has to do with the transmission of the signal from the trigger, which is on the camera, to the flash, which is off the camera. So when using the trigger, make sure that the channels match. And the channels can go from 1 to 32. So if you're not getting a connection, you can change the channel. Maybe you have interference or someone else is using the same system. You can be on a different channel than them. So there's the group A, and there's the channel. And this is when it's operating in slave mode. If it's not in slave mode, that doesn't matter because your flash would be directly on the camera and you wouldn't need to worry about the channels. But you can still use this flash unit to control groups of other flashes. But I'm going to keep this simple. I'm not going to worry about groups, but you just need to know that whatever this is, if you're using the trigger, this letter has to match the group on the trigger, and this channel has to match the channel on the trigger so that they talk to each other. When you're first starting out using the trigger, it's a little bit tricky. The key things to keep in mind are you want to make sure that whatever's against this white arrow, that's what's happening. So right now you can see it's on TTL in group A. You can cycle through the modes by hitting the mode dial here, and that's manual mode with 1:1 power. And if you want to change the power level, you have to hit group. So you hit the GR button, and then you can change the power there. So now I'm at half power, quarter power, and it goes in third stop increments, eighth, etc. So that will control the power. Now, as I'm doing this, the back of the flash is also changing. Let me show you. So the mode button here lets you cycle between TTL, manual, and off. The flash won't fire if it's in off. So right now it's TTL, push the test button, it fires. Right now it's in manual mode 1:1, it fires. Now it's off, nothing's beside the A, doesn't fire. So if it doesn't fire, check that out. Alright, let's see if the camera fires. The camera also does not fire. Now, if the flash doesn't fire, it can be a couple of things going on as well. You might be too close. If the trigger is too close to the flash, sometimes it doesn't work. There, it didn't work, and sometimes it does work. And that time it did work. So if you're having trouble with the flash not firing, move it away from the trigger. So the easiest way to use this trigger is to keep it into TTL. So make sure that the TTL is opposite the A. Make sure you pressed OK after setting TTL, and give it a test. I love this flash. The fact that I'm using it with high-speed sync at 1/1000th of a second or higher is a bonus. I can add some light on overcast days. It works great. It fills in those shadows that happen when your subject isn't facing directly into the sunlight. Sometimes the best shots are not where the sun's falling on, so having a flash around is great. Shooting at high-speed sync, 1/1000th of a second or faster is great. The only thing that I had to learn was that I had to get my timing. You only get one shot. You get one chance to shoot your subject, because this flash doesn't recycle fast enough for a fast-moving subject like a skateboarder. So if I'm shooting rapid fire 12 frames a second, I'm not going to use this flash if I have to shoot that fast. But if I can predict where my subject is going, I can use this no problem. And that took some learning. You have to take a lot of practice shots to get the timing using a flash. Well, that's about all I have on the Godox Flash. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the video comments below. See you next time.